G'day YouTube, how the heck we doing? It is Foul Play here, back for some more Pauper action. So today we're going to be going without Lotus Petal. We are instead going to be doing the Commune with Spirits variant of the deck. And we will be running 3 communes instead of the 4 Lotus Petals. So we've got an extra aura slot to work with. With this, we're going to have 4 cartridges of Solidarity. We're going to have 3 Sentinel's Eyes. And I'm actually going a Rancor-less this league. Success and Training taking the place of Rancor, 1 less power, 1 more mana, but ETB of draw a card. The format is a little bit slower, so mostly this should be quite a good thing for us. It certainly helps post board when your opponent has lots of effects that blow up or exile artifacts or enchantments. Obviously Rancor would come back from the graveyard, but we don't need like 5 Rancors on our creature. We need like 1 Rancor, 1 Ethereal Armor sort of thing, and hit for a fair bit. Additional to this, we've only got 3 Ancestral Mask. I think 3 is fine. I don't like getting clogged up too much at the top end of the deck. 3 mana can be awkward to get to. 4 Armadillo Cloak is just fantastic. Burn is everywhere at the moment. This card is great against burn. With the sideboard, we have Burn Hate, we have Graveyard Hate, we have Standard Bearer Hate, we have our own Standard Bearer for the mirror match, we have Young Wolf, which is Edict Hate, we have Flaring Pain, which is Fog Hate, and we have Crucifix's Insight, which is for those Dawnbringer Clerics plus Ephemerate decks. That's the deck, guys. Let's get into this league. Alright, we lost the die roll in the first match here. Our hand's a little bit aura anemic, but I think it's decent enough to keep. Oh god, I really hope we're not running this Bogle into a Force Spike. Alright, that hard resolves. That's good for us. We find an aura off the top as well, so that's quite helpful. Alright, so I guess we're versing Familiars then. Commune off the top. Maybe I should have grottoed into Abundant Growth. I think I slightly missequenced that there. We'll cartouche, see if our opponent's got a counter effect. They do not. Attack for 2. There's like, is it prohibit or something? 2 mana counter unless they pay 1. They can't have counterspell mana up specifically because they only had 1 blue effect in hand. So far we've drawn quite a few auras, so that's quite nice for us. Opponent Journey to Nowhere. If we hit an Ancestral Mask, our opponent's Journey will actually buff our creature for us. Success and Training. That's pretty free. Let's keep that one. And we're sort of getting a little bit punished by not putting the Abundant Growth on the creature there. I guess it doesn't affect us like too horribly. Just go and attack for 7. No Commune this turn. Like, we lost out on a Commune by sequencing our mana the way we did. Our opponent concedes. Alright, so here is a copy of the Familiars deck. This doesn't have Journey to Nowhere in it, which is the only card we saw from our opponent in the previous match, but I'm going to just assume they are on Familiars. If I've got that read wrong, apologies. They have main deck interaction of like Dawnbringer Cleric. They have these Familiars, which make their spells cost 1 generic less to play. Auramancer to return stuff from the graveyard. Muldrift to draw cards. And then they have Ephemerate plus Ghostly Flicker, so they can permanently return stuff from the graveyard. Yep, so there we go. Prohibit. Oh, so Prohibit is, I got that wrong. It's not counter unless you pay 1. Counterspell as well. Modern Age. The sideboard, I mean, they've got Ephemerate plus Dawnbringer Cleric, so we've got to be mindful of that. And Revoke Existence. Alright, so I'm going to bring in Standard Bearer, Crucifix's Insight, and Relic, taking out Commune, Ledgewalker, and 1 Mask. Standard Bearer is quite good because if they have to flicker our creature instead of their own, that just disrupts their sort of like combo that they have going on. We don't really want to enchant one of those because if it gets flickered, that's not a good thing. Mulligan to 6 here, this looks good. Obviously, Graveyard Hate can be quite effective against their deck as well. Alright, and we got the read completely wrong. Some sort of Jeskai deck. Well, Scout off the top. We still have a white mana and a follow-up creature if opponent goes to sweep the board. Cleansing Wildfire on their own land, generating mana. And also on the card draw there as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and Abundant Growth. Doubled up on card 2 should steal the play. And attack for 2. So currently our opponent does have access to Counterspell. So we don't want to play into that. Crewfix's Insight is the card we need to resolve most in hand. So if they're using their Counterspell on card 2, that's just setting up future turns with Crewfix's Insight. Imagine our opponent will like tap mana at sorcery speed at some stage. Alright, so perfect. Opponent goes Stonehorn Dignitary. So they are going to have flicker effects in their deck if that is what they are doing. On Utopia Sprawl, and that's just a free enchantment. So Stonehorn Dignitary makes us skip a combat step. Probably should have gone over that one in Sideboarding, but here we are. And we just casually find 4 enchantments off this. That's pretty good. So we'll grab these 3. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent passes back to us, and I guess they're going to flicker at this point. Looks like Ghostly Flicker even. Oh no, they decide on Ephemerate. Okay. That's in our upkeep. Relic of Progenitus off top. That could be a very, very handy one. Alright, so we'll kick things off by enchanting over here. Getting that card draw, looking for a Standard Bearer. So test and training off top. I think we just go for the Relic. Force our opponent to have Counterspell. No Counterspell from our opponent. That's quite nice to see. And there's no like real reason not to set test and training. Maybe we don't have Relic up instant speed. But we'll just chill. This is an excellent answer to the Ghostly Flicker part of their combo. So basically just trying to dig as deep as we can get to Standard Bearer currently. Only at 1 copy though, so that's a bit painful. Alright, so Stonehorn Dignitary, Ephemerated upkeep, Ephemerate in the graveyard. They can return this with Auramancer, which I assume is what they're going to do. Maybe not. He's got Ice now. It's a weird line. Okay, we'll just eat that one on the chin. Draw another Bogle. Pretty rubbish draws currently. And we want to save like at least 1 mana for when our opponent goes to return this Ephemerate. Our combat step is being skipped by their Stonehorn Dignitary. Muldrifter from our opponent, so that's fine. Oh, absolutely beautiful. We find Standard Bearer. So now we just need to get a good position to resolve this. Currently we have 5 mana here. No, 4 mana here. Damn, that's 1 mana short of doing what we want to. I'm guessing they've got Counterspell up specifically. Let's force the Counterspell out of their hand. Ancestral Mask is the better card to resolve here. Alright, well there's Counterspell. We get to hold up Standard Bearer for future turns though, so we'll just attack for 3 here. Oh, and Stonehorn Dignitary does actually fog that damage. That's fine. It's okay. We're still in good shape. Opponent preordains. So 1 card top, 1 card bottom off of that. Attacking with the Muldrifter. Guess they've got another exile effect here to skip our combat step. Or another bounce effect, flicker effect. Another Muldrifter from the opponent. Sure. 2 cards in hand before the Muldrifter, so they were getting down on resources. Keep playing patient with this Fire and Ice. Find a Sentinel's Eyes so we can force the Force the damage now finally with our creature. And it's still not a good place to play our Standard Bearer out. We can still hold up our active on our relic. This is fine. We're winning this race currently. I guess we can throw another creature on the board, so let's go ahead and do that. Maybe I should have done that pre-combat because then I could have resolved one more scout actually. So I think that was slightly inaccurate from us. Attacking with the Muldrifters, 4 in hand, made their land drop, which was an island. Ah, here it is, Ephemerate from our opponent. This is where they're looking to really get their tempo, make us skip multiple combat steps. Ethereal Armor off the top. Do we force them to have Counterspell? At this point, we could force the Counterspell with both Armadillo Cloak and Ethereal Armor, and then if we get one more attack in, we're in a really good spot. I think that's probably going to be good enough. All right, so Armadillo Cloak does draw the Counterspell effect out of their hand. That is their 3rd Counterspell, so 1 left in the library. All right, at this point, we just pass the turn, and if we can get rid of 2 Ephemerates, I think that's worth cashing in our Relic of Progenitus. So it's likely I'll pay for that end step. It could get a bit dicey if they use Ghostly Flicker though. I think they only have 1 copy of Ghostly Flicker in the deck. And if they only have 2 copies of Ephemerate, that could kill the combo. Oh, it looks like they have 2 copies of Ghostly Flicker. Opponent attacks for 4. That'll put us to 10. All right, let's pay for the active on Relic. All right, we get rid of 2 Ephemerates. That's pretty nice. We do skip our combat step. Another Relic off the top. There you go. What's our opponent say about this one? Lets it resolve. Standard Bearer. Oh, so he is holding another Counterspell effect. Deals 2 damage divided as you choose 1 or 2 targets. Okay. So he's forcing that damage at our face instead of on Standard Bearer. That's very interesting. Fire on face. Wow, has he just got like 3 burn effects and then kills us in the air? Well, let's get rid of that. Buff up our guy and then look to pass the turn. Again, if they have Ephemerate or Ghostly Flicker, they have to target Standard Bearer with it. They can't target Stonehorn Dignitary. They can put us to 2 here and then we'll have a lethal crackback. I guess our opponent could have a 2nd copy of Stonehorn Dignitary. So test and training off top. Yeah, we'll just test and training, see how our opponent responds. Another Ethereal Armor. I guess I could have like an enchantment interaction effect there. Let's go for as much damage as possible. And I think we attack with everything but Standard Bearer. So Standard Bearer can come back. 2 trample effects on our scout means it will be trampling damage. We've still got like 10 damage here, another 3 damage wide. Destroy Evil. Yeah, so they did have enchantment interaction, but we've put enough instances of trample and enough instances of Ethereal Armor that we win the match anyway. Wow, that was super, super lucky. We played that very, very patient all the way down to 2 life and managed to get there in the end. So Always feels good to get those hard-fought victories. I think in general, Familiars is a decent matchup for us. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, let me know down in the comments section below what you thought of it. Until next time, have a wonderful day. I will see you then.